it's looking like I'm en route to my 4th green arrow in a row, but with injuries to CUNHA and a suspension for Morgan Rogers, I'm going to be forced into a transfer this game week. But who do I bring in? Well, let's take a look in today's Fantasy Premier League video. So far, so good for game week 19. We're on 83 points total. We're still 2 Arsenal assets to play in Gabriel and David Raya. We've snuck our way back in to the top 750k in the world. I've been playing pretty well recently, and this is, well, I'm on track for my 4th green arrow in a row. So the transfers that I've made have been positive, and I'm super pleased with that. Let's talk about the players who have had their scores confirmed so far this week. Of course, we can't speak about the Arsenal boys because they haven't played yet. Robinson, of course, getting the assist against Bournemouth in that 2-2 draw. I had a lot of questions on TikTok Live and YouTube Live for that deadline stream. Do I play Robinson? Do I play Kirkes? I advised Robinson just because I thought he had a little bit more attacking potential in this fixture, and it paid off. So, super pleased I went with Robinson in the end. Trent, I personally own Trent since the Newcastle fixture, that 3-3 draw where he got 2 assists. He's gotten me 3 assists and 1 goal in that sort of block of fixtures here, that 5 fixture run. So really pleased with Trent. Of course, he plays for the best defence in the league, arguably, and has great attacking potential. He is expensive, but I think he's actually worth the price. And I suppose that West Ham fixture kind of backs up why I'm paying that much for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Palmer, I said that I said that the West Ham fixture of Salah is much better than Palmer's of Ipswich away from home. I just didn't expect this to happen. 2-0 to Ipswich, a big loss for Chelsea and a massive win for Ipswich. Maybe that gives Ipswich a little bit more confidence going into the next week, but Chelsea really should be winning those type of games. And again, blank from Palmer, not exactly great. Ismail Assar, blanking against Southampton at home, a 2-1 victory at Palace though. His data looks absolutely fantastic. The fixtures on the horizon are great. I am perfectly okay with owning Ismail Assar at the price point I personally got him at. I think when Eze starts to match Ismail Assar's minutes and perhaps gets penalties off Mateta, that's when Eze becomes the much better Palace option. But at the moment, I actually like Ismail Assar better than Eze, despite Eze scoring against Southampton at home. Mohamed Salah, of course, I said I like the West Ham fixture a lot from Mohamed Salah. I honestly feel like he could have scored 2 more goals at least in this fixture. So I think if you captain Palmer, maybe consider yourself lucky, because there were some chances he definitely should be scoring. Obviously, the XG is just ridiculous. Like, Liverpool are just so good attacking. It's crazy. Morgan Rogers, goal and assist. I backed this boy from the very start. Of course, 5.5, a cheap price point. The fixtures are decent. Sadly, he has picked up that 5th yellow card, which means he will miss arguably one of the better fixtures in the season, Leicester at home, which is a bit disappointing, but at least he got me a goal and assist and went out in style, we'll say. João Pedro, 2 assists. I mean, the first assist, a bit controversial. I don't even know if he touched the ball, to be honest, but FPL have given it to him, so I'm just going to roll with it. 9 points for him. Really pleased with that, because there was the option of possibly going Mbeumo instead of João Pedro, just because Brighton and João Pedro have been absolutely pants lately. But we went with João Pedro, and it's paid off, apparently. So, I mean, we'll see what Mbeumo does against Arsenal, but I doubt it's going to be at the heights that João Pedro has gotten there, 9 points. Isak, Mr. Consistent, a goal and a bonus point against United. Can't complain. A lot of people own him now, of course, getting to that 50% ownership marker. Maybe it's argument where you could move off him at some point just to kind of get some more differential players in, maybe around game week 26. But still, I think Isak can score against any team, so I'm pretty much happy keeping him for a long run of fixtures. CUNHA is the interesting one. Of course, only played the 45. For me, there were points to get in that Tottenham game for CUNHA. I thought it was a great opportunity, a great fixture for him. But when he says he struggled to get up to top speed to his manager and he wanted to come off, that is completely fine. I know he's going to get banned soon, but perhaps there's the option to keep him for Forest. We'll speak about that in the next section of the video, the transfer plans. We'll talk briefly about the bench. Kirkes 1, Ramsdale 1, and still the Brentford boys to play. But yeah, 83 points so far. Green arrow could be a almost guarantee with the Arsenal boys. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, really happy with how I'm doing so far for game week 19. Let's take a look at my transfer plans for game week 20 onwards. Now, with 2 free transfers, 1 million in the bank, and with Rodgers and Cunha potentially not available for these fixtures, I have some tinkering to do with my squad. Now, Rodgers is an easy one to fix because I want to keep a hold of him. I can just play Robinson against Ipswich at home. Not exactly an amazing fixture now we've seen what they've done to Chelsea, because I think confidence will be very key in Ipswich's momentum. If McKenna plays the right team with that confidence behind them going into this Fulham fixture, I think there are going to be some issues for Fulham. But overall, I think it's not a bad fixture on paper, so I'm definitely okay doing that swap of Rodgers to Robinson. Cunha, on the other hand, with the injury and the Forest fixture kind of just being okay, and the fixtures coming up being bad, when you consider the bans coming soon as well, I think it is a decent time to jump off of Matheus Cunha. Now, we've got some real great options we can move to. I wanted to hold off on the Cunha move, get the last few good fixtures out of him, and then decide with the information I have which cheap asset is best to move to. And I think I've got that information now. So, for me, the top options that I want to bring in are Wissa, especially when you consider Southampton away is in game week 20. This game week I'll bring him in for. I really like the look of him. We'll see how he gets on against Arsenal. I don't think he's going to get much joy against Arsenal, and perhaps that puts people off a transfer. But when you consider it, Southampton away, Man City at home, 2 good fixtures on paper for Brentford, I think that's really, really nice to have in a player you're bringing in. Liverpool in 22 isn't ideal, but the fixtures past that are pretty decent. Palace away, Spurs at home, West Ham away, Leicester away. So really not a bad transfer in my opinion, for FPL. Chris Wood is the obvious replacement in my eyes, and probably someone I would like to bring into my FPL team. Wolves away is pretty decent. 21 Liverpool away, but he rotates really nicely with someone else on my side, which I will show in just a second. 22 Southampton at home. I think that's going to be a great Chris Wood fixture. Bournemouth away, Brighton at home, Fulham and Newcastle away from home. I personally like Chris Wood a little bit better than Wissa at the moment. I do think Wissa is a good option though, so it's really between those two guys. I mean, Solanke kind of pops up in my head as a possible option I could go to, but I feel as though Chris Wood and Wissa are probably slightly better assets at the moment than Dominic Solanke. Spurs, I don't want to touch them. I don't know what's going to happen each game week. Some weeks look good, some weeks look absolutely horrendous. Like, there's no consistency there, and I think players like Chris Wood and Wissa are slightly better options at the moment. So let's say I made that Chris Wood move. Of course, João Pedro drops to the bench with the Arsenal home fixture. When I speak about, of course, rotation in my side with that Chris Wood move, it allows me then to play João Pedro with the Ipswich away fixture when Chris Wood has probably the hardest fixture you'll have all season, Liverpool at home. I suppose it is at home, and of course, Forest have beaten Liverpool away from them at Anfield. So I think Liverpool will put up a fight in this fixture, of course. I don't think they want to get embarrassed like they did at home. It's an easy drop to the bench for Kirkes with Chelsea away from home. Robinson, I'm okay with playing against West Ham away from home. Overall, the team looks pretty decent. I quite like Mbeumo against City at home. The rest of the team, pretty decent fixtures overall. Of course, the North London derby for the Arsenal boys, it's normally a decent fixture for them. Of course, at the earlier stage of the season, they did end up picking up a clean sheet against Spurs, so perhaps that can happen again. But for transfers, I don't think I'm in any rush. I would have 2 free transfers at this point again because I did the Chris Wood move. There are no major sort of players I want to bring in at this point, and I think I'm pretty happy just rolling my transfers up until the double game week that Liverpool have. We'll see what the squad looks like in the next few weeks, though. Southampton then, for Chris Wood. I can bench Mbeumo that game week. Of course, we know Robinson has good fixtures consistently and rotates really nicely with Kirkes, and we see that here with the Leicester away fixture for Robinson. Arsenal away for Rodgers isn't great, and perhaps that's a week that I move out of Mbeumo and move into somebody else as a midfielder. Of course, 8.7 million at this point is a decent time to jump around onto someone slightly better with good fixtures. I don't mind Anthony Gordon if he continues kind of the run of form he's on. But overall, that's kind of my transfer plans for the next few weeks in FPL. Overall, this week in particular, Chris Wood and Johan Wissa are my favourite options to replace CUNHA. There is an option where if we get some CUNHA news about that Forest fixture and he is available and fully fit, there is a chance I just keep a hold of him and just start CUNHA there instead of Chris Wood. But I feel as though moving to Chris Wood or Johan Wissa will benefit me more in this week and future weeks, considering CUNHA will get banned. So, yeah, let me know what you think of the team, though. Who are you really going to be bringing in the next few weeks of FPL? Because there aren't too many options I'm excited about right now in FPL, so I'd love to know your guys' opinions. But, yeah, let me know what you think of the team, and, yeah, comment below who you're bringing in this game week. As always, to outro my videos, I'd like to give you guys at home a big thank you for supporting the FPL Mugs YouTube channel. If you have enjoyed today's video, drop a like, and if you aren't yet subscribed, please do consider it for future FPL videos and deadline streams. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.